Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. Just a quick random video I decided to do, which is just kind of a what's been spinning. Just kind of things that I've been playing for the past few days, I guess close to a week or so. Um, it's kind of so easy to get caught up in like little series that you're doing on your channels, or, recent finds, of course, are always the big ones. And so I just kind of thought earlier this week, I was like, let me just kind of start setting aside some of the stuff that I spend throughout the course of the week and just kind of share it, just to talk about something different than just the recent finds. So, yeah, this is all old stuff that's been in my collection for quite some time that I've been listening to. I'm not going to show any recent finds that I've been spending because that's pretty much been shown in recent finds, because you always spend that stuff as soon as you get it. But just some of the oldies but goodies I pulled out of my collection that I had a good time listening to this week. So the first one here is Don Bryant, Precious Soul. A really cool album from 1969, and just what it sounds like. Just good soul music. Someone that's kind of playing on the lines of Otis Redding and Wilson Pickett, and kind of up and down that flavor of soul. Matter of fact, he actually does a couple cool covers on here. He does Land of a Thousand Dances, which of course Pickett made pretty big. He does a cover of Soul Man. So some really cool stuff on here. But just a great soul album, very inexpensive one to find. So I had a chance to kind of go back and enjoy that again. And when I was just kind of doing some stuff in my music room the other day, I put this on as kind of background music and was listening to it. But Turn Up the Quiet by Diana Krall. Pretty much all her stuff I absolutely love. But I haven't spun any of her in a while, so it was kind of cool to pull this out. Just just awesome jazz vocal. Just kind of one of the jazz vocalists that's really kind of keeping that flavor very nice and very pleasant. Just love the way she delivers, adds there's a strong sexiness to the way that she delivers her vocals, which is just really awesome. So fantastic artist, and that's a great album there. And then Miss Class 2. Haven't spun this in a while and got the urge to pull this out. Actually, just last night I was listening to this. That's a 2 LP set, Dionne Warwick. The legendary singers. It's from one of those Time Life series. But it's just, 2 LPs in this kind of little simple box. It has a cool little pamphlet or whatever inside of it. Kind of folds out there. But yeah, just Miss Class. That's the only thing I think about her every time I just see her face. Is just class. When you talk about the whole jazz vocal thing, and kind of where I'm saying Diana Krall's kind of carrying on that today, with the class of a Dionne and like Lena Horne and just those absolute greats from back in the day. I just see her face and have nothing but respect for her. Just such a classy lady, and amazing music, amazing vocalist. So that was a really fun spin, and that was kind of cool too, because I haven't spun that since I got it and listened to it initially, which was probably 8 years ago or something like that. I mean, it's been a while since I spun that, and just really enjoyed it last night. And kind of the same thing with this one here, which is Loose Ends, A Little Space. I was actually talking with Level Andrew the other day. I always call him LA. And I was just asking him, like, hey, give me a heads up on some of the stuff you're looking for so I can keep an eye out. And one of the bands that he mentioned was Loose Ends. And again, just by us talking about that for that brief second, it made me think, I haven't spun Loose Ends in a while. So I pulled that out and spun it the other day, and just a fantastic record. This is kind of in the 80s R&B, early 80s R&B, 1983. The big hit off of here was Hanging on a String. But yeah, just really kind of a cool band that does that mixture of that early 80s R&B with a little bit of a jazz flavor kind of mixed into it. Very unique band. And again, just talking to him about it made me think to go pull that out. And I hadn't spun that in a while, and just really enjoyed it. So another great one there. Taiko. Another fantastic album here. This is their 2006 release. Passes Prologue, and yeah, for those maybe that aren't familiar with Taiko, I think they have, is it 4 albums that are out? Well, I know I have 4 albums. They may have 5 out total. Correct me if I'm wrong. But just a fantastic kind of, I label them as a synth pop band. They just basically do a bunch of instrumental stuff, and it's very dream pop-ish. Just really kind of a lot of emotions and that 80s synthish kind of feel. But they do some really, really awesome stuff. And this is one of their albums that probably the one I just listen to the least, because I love their album Awake. That's my favorite. It's always my go-to when I want to listen to them. So I put this on the other day, and again, just really, really enjoyed it. Awesome 2 LP set from 2006. It's another fantastic band there. The Pleasure Seekers, What a Way to Live, another fantastic. Oh, sorry, What a Way to Die. Exact opposite. And again, just another cool album. Just one I hadn't spun in quite some time. Just kind of a garage rock female, type of band. I think it's more garage rock. There's almost some psych flavor that comes into it, but definitely more on the garage rock side. And again, just really, really cool, awesome female band. That's on white vinyl. And then I dug into my blues collection and decided to listen to a little Lightning Hopkins a couple days ago. Another great album, Texas Blues Man. This is from 1968. Excuse me. Just one of those kind of simple, right to the point type of blues albums. I mean, it's just kind of him and his guitar. So you don't have like big band and big bass and drums and all that. It's just him and his guitar. And he does it really kind of in a laid back way, like the way he's talking and communicating in some places. It's almost like someone was recording him doing this just with a bunch of friends around. Like it wasn't actually a recording session kind of thing. But fantastic blues album. I do find it kind of strange because it is, you can see there, in stereo, but just with him and his guitar, it's like one channel is mainly focusing on his guitar and the other channel is mainly focusing on his vocal. So to me, it just seems kind of weird that when you have kind of a one-person act like that, that it's not just kind of more of a mono type of presentation. But anyway, the next one here, one that I was introduced to by one of the awesome members of the VC here, which is White Shape, Perfect Dark. Again, another album I haven't spun that much since I got it and decided to pull it out the other day. This is from 2019. Kind of a, I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, I actually have it in my psych category, but it's not necessarily psych. Maybe it's kind of psych with somewhat of a dream pop type of feel to it. Really kind of hard to describe, but definitely a very cool album. And that was a great spin the other night. And then I decided to go some old school too, because this is one Whitesnake album I hadn't visited in quite some time. And this is Slip of the Tongue. And this is the 30th anniversary edition. So it has, a few extra things on it that are not on the original pressing that I have. But one of the great things on this is has my one of my favorite songs by Whitesnake, which is Fool for Your Lovin'. Love that song. And on this, you actually get 3 different versions of it. You get the regular studio album version, and then on the second disc, you also get, where is it? Oh, you get a Vai Voltage mix, because Steve Vai was a guitar player here. And then there's also a AOR mix with CHR intro. So it's like 3 different versions of the best song on the entire album, which is kind of cool. So I gave that a spin the other day, listened to both sides at full album, and that was pretty nice. And I got into a little hip hop mode the other morning and decided to pull out a little Special Ed. This is from 1990, Youngest in Charge, and just kind of some of that great old school hip hop. I think from New York. And the big hit he had off of here was I Got It Made, which is still just one of my favorite. Just one of those simple, right to the point type of songs that came out in that early hip hop days. And so fantastic album there from 1990. And Anita Baker, another good one here. I actually pulled out her album Rapture for one of my top 100 albums to own on vinyl, what I'm doing on Instagram. And so when I pulled that out, it made me think, excuse me, I really haven't listened to her other album in quite some time, which is Giving You the Best That I Got, which is this album. And so I pulled it out and gave it a listen, and just, again, just awesome smoothness. Kind of a nice combination between very, very strong R&B, but then also kind of a jazz type of approach to it, even though it's not jazz music, it's R&B, but it's kind of that same smooth feel that she delivers. And fantastic album, and listened to that the other day and really, really enjoyed it. So it's kind of nice to revisit that. Same thing with Earth, Wind, and Fire. I mean, I have all of their studio albums on vinyl, and sometimes it's just one of those bands I just not forget, but just my fingers just don't go back to them. And the other day I decided to pull out I Am and give that a spin, because this of course has a lot of their big hits on here, which is stuff like In the Stone and After the Love Is Gone, Boogie Wonderland, like just some of their huge hits. Excuse me. But just talk about some musical genius on this album. When you listen to the songs like In the Stone especially, just such a combination of just big band beautifulness and groove and funk and soul and just kind of everything mixed into the elements known as Earth, Wind, and Fire. So great stuff there. And then the last, I have like 4 more here. Spun a little jazz the other day, which is Eric Dolphy, and this is Outward Bound. Very cool album, by him from 1960. All his stuff is great. Not my favorite album by him, which is probably why I tend to skip it a lot. So I kind of went back to it and, sat down and just kind of listened to it from front to back and really had a chance to kind of re-engage in it. So definitely an awesome album. Again, not my favorite by him, but definitely one worth having in your collection if you can find it at a good price. So, fantastic album there. And another one I, again, just kind of forgotten about. And I think that's the thing, when I just really kind of sit down and just get into a listening mode over the past couple weeks, what I've really tried to do is go back to stuff that I just have not visited in quite some time and just get out of my regular patterns. And that's kind of what I experienced with a chunk of stuff in this stack. And this is one of them right here, which is Muse, The Second Law. When I saw that, I was just like, I have not spun that in quite some time. And, gave it a spin. And of course, it has the awesome song Madness, which is the song that actually brought me to them. Still, in my opinion, Madness is a fantastic album. There's a couple other songs here that I really like, but I still think for the most part, from front to back, it's kind of an average record. But just based on the 2 or 3 songs that I really like, it's more than worth having and keeping. Especially the song Madness. I think it's just a fantastic piece of beauty and simplicity. So wonderful track. The next one, The Cure is always getting something pulled out, but the same thing. Whenever I pull out The Cure, I usually automatically go to Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, or a number of other things. And this is one that I kind of skip over when I go to pull The Cure. And this, of course, is Pornography from 1982, and just, it's The Cure. You guys know them. Fantastic, legendary 80s alternative band. So can't go wrong with any of their stuff. And last but not least, this is actually the REM album I probably go to most frequently, which is REM Green. And one of the reasons why I go to this one all the time is because arguably my favorite song by REM is Orange Crush. And I never get tired of listening to that, never get tired of spinning that. Even though in some of my videos, some of my other introductions, I actually use that song Orange Crush, because it's just an awesome track. So that's that. And then the 2 CDs that I'll show. One I just kind of spun this morning, which I thought was kind of worth the show. But it is this Affinity, which is that's a self-titled. The name of the album is Affinity. The name of the band's Affinity. 1970, kind of a I kind of label it as a psych record, but it really is on the light side. It's really kind of like sounds kind of like Nico, from Nico and the Velvet Underground, but she sings a little more and a little better, but not singing, but it's still a very Nico sounding type of artist. But just a really cool album. Again, from 1970, it kind of flows on that psych garage side, and spun that actually a little bit last night, and I spun it this morning too. So Really cool album there. And the other CD that I played, I think it was last night as well, Phanogram. Another one that I picked up a while ago, but again, just hadn't really made it back to it, and spun that last night, and I really enjoyed that as well. So there you go, VC. Just some stuff that I've been spending. Again, no big ins or outs with this particular video. Just wanted to kind of share that. I think I'll maybe do that for a while too, just start putting stuff aside. You guys know how much I like to keep my collection organized and everything, so usually when I pull something out and I'm done with it, it goes right back in the place it's supposed to go. But I kind of like this tossing to the side and just, chatting about stuff that I've been spending for the past week or two. So anyway, let me know what you think, VC. As always, appreciate you guys, and we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys.